Jai Baba, Chapter 121. Nana was seated in Masjid I, pressing Baba's feet. He was reciting the fourth chapter of the Bhagavad Gita to Baba. Reciting would be a euphemism. He was in reality mumbling the stanzas. He finished with the 33rd stanza and began the next one. Nobody present could truly understand what he was mumbling. As Nana began the 34th stanza, Baba decided to bestow grace upon him. Nana, what are you mumbling? It sounds as though you're talking to yourself. Whatever you are chanting or reciting, do so clearly. Why are you not letting all of us who are present partake of the beauty of whatever you are reciting? Baba, I am reciting verses from the sacred Bhagavad Gita. I do not want to disturb either you or those who are seated by my loud recitation. Everybody who sits with you is in some way absorbed in their own chanting, be it internal or external. Thus I am reciting everything softly, which may seem as though I am muttering to myself. Okay, I understand that you don't want to disturb others, but what about me? Don't you think that I should be able to hear you clearly at least? Also, don't you think that I should know whether or not you have understood whatever you are reciting? Thus, don't just recite the stanza, but I want to hear the commentary along with it too. Yes, Baba. Nana then began to recite the stanza loud enough for Baba to hear. He not only recited the stanza, but also gave a commentary on the meaning of the stanza. Baba heard the man and nodded in approval. Baba would often explain the true meaning of what was written in the sacred scriptures. His philosophy was simple. True wisdom meant going beyond attachment and ego. True realization came forth when the duality between the master and the devotee vanished and only oneness prevailed. Knowledge without detachment and oneness led the individual nowhere. Wisdom that did not contain detachment from everything and wisdom that did not contain oneness with all led the individual to keep getting ensnared in the cycle of life and death. Thus, the individual attained only knowledge, not wisdom. One had to go beyond Maya of every kind. One had to only be focused on merging with the Creator with single-minded devotion, and while on this path of merging with the Creator, one should carry no baggage of attachments and karma. Now let us take this wonderful story of Hari Sitaram Dikshit, lovingly known as Kaka Sahib. He had not even heard of Sai Baba till 1909, but as time went by, he became very dear to Sai. One day, Nana Chandorkar went to Lonavala to meet Kaka Sahib. They were close friends and had known each other for a long time. They had not met for many years and their reunion was filled with love and nostalgia. The discussion eventually came around to the old leg injury Kaka Sahib had suffered from during the time he had spent in London. While getting onto a bus, Kaka Sahib had slipped and he had hurt his leg very badly. For years, Kaka Sahib went to many doctors, but all attempts had failed. No doctor and medicines could repair the damage that was caused to Kaka Sahib's leg. Kaka, if you want to cure your leg injury once and for all, then come with me to Shirdi, prostrate yourself at Sai Baba's feet. I say this not because he is my Lord and Master, but because I have seen countless miracles which have taken place through his divinity. It was then that Nana spoke at length about Sai Baba to Kaka Sahib. Baba has also said that however far from me my children may be, like a sparrow that is pulled with a string tied to a leg, in a similar way I shall pull my man to me. I also believe that unless you truly belong to Baba, you shall neither reach him nor become completely devoted to him. I have seen so many who have wanted to meet him for years, but for some reason or the other, they have been unsuccessful, as I believe you have to belong to him and your time has to come to meet him. Kaka Sahib was intrigued and interested in meeting Baba and agreed to go along with Nana to prostrate at Baba's feet. I do not want Baba to cure me. What is a mere leg when in time the entire body shall be destroyed? I want to come and meet your Guru for a simple reason that eventually I get liberation from the cycle of life and death. I am not interested in worldly gains. I am not interested in money. I seek only liberation, as I believe that true happiness comes forth from self-realization, which can only come about through the grace of a master. Let my leg remain lame. I have no issue with that. But if your Baba can cure the lameness of my mind, that is all I seek. Nana, I am tired of trying to steady my mind. I have prayed, done meditation and yoga, but my mind is still not steady and is not yet under my control. I will implore Baba to bless me so that my mind becomes steady and silent. I will come with you and take your Guru's darshan and beg him to cure my crippled mind. Kaka Sahib was not aware that Baba loved those who desired nothing more than liberation, spiritual growth, and walking the path of oneness with calmness and purity. Thus it was decided that at the earliest Kaka Sahib would take Baba's darshan. He was busy with the Legislative Council election. In this regard, he had to go to Ahmednagar. Dikshit left for Ahmednagar and stayed with a friend called Mirikar, who was a prominent personality in his neighborhood. When Kaka Sahib's work got over, he decided that he was very close to Shirdi. He might as well as go and meet Sai. The problem arose as to who would accompany him to Shirdi. Kaka Sahib for some reason did not want to travel alone to Shirdi. He wanted somebody with him, but there was nobody to accompany him. Suddenly one day, Shama arrived in Ahmednagar. Madhav Rao's mother-in-law had fallen critically ill. After taking Baba's permission, Shama arrived in Ahmednagar to visit her. Pense and Gadre happened to meet Shama as soon as he got down from the Tonga. Shama, you Bhadwa, it is very fortunate that you have come here. Kaka Sahib Dikshit is very keen on meeting Sai and was wondering how he would reach Shirdi and who would introduce him to Baba. Look at Baba's love. Here you are. Come and meet Kaka Sahib whenever you can. Shama's mother-in-law suddenly got better, so Shama went to meet Kaka Sahib and the plan to go to Shirdi was sorted out. It was at Bala's house that Kaka Sahib saw Baba's photograph for the first time. That too, the same photograph which Baba's beloved devotee Megha would worship every day. The photograph had arrived at Bala's house to be repaired. Kaka Sahib was mesmerized on seeing Baba's photograph. It was as though Baba himself had arrived to take Kaka Sahib to Shirdi. Shama and Kaka Sahib decided to go to Shirdi that very night. They arrived at the railway station to find there was a huge crowd waiting for tickets. Both of them realized that there was no way they would be able to purchase tickets and board the train that night. They were about to return to their respective places when Kaka Sahib remembered that he knew the guard of the train. In a short while, both Shama and Kaka Sahib were seated in the first-class compartment of the train, travelling at great speed for Kopargaon en route to Shirdi. When they got down to Kopargaon, whom should they meet but Nana, who was on his way to meet Baba as well. Kaka Sahib and Nana hugged each other warmly. This could not just be a coincidence. Earlier they had decided to meet Baba together, and here they both were travelling to meet Sai. They all got onto a tonga, bathed in the Godavari river, and then continued their journey to Shirdi. Kaka Sahib prostrated at Baba's feet. With tears in his eyes, it felt as though he had known Sai all his life. I have waited for you for a long time, thus I sent my Shamya to bring you here to me. I have always been with you, guiding you and protecting you all along. So what if you do not know me? I know you, and that is most important. I promise you that when your time comes to leave the body, I shall take you calmly with the speed of an airplane. Kaka Sahib devoted his life completely to Baba henceforth. He built a house close to Masjid-i so that he could serve Sai earnestly. Many years later, Kaka Sahib was travelling with Hemat Pant on a train. He was singing Baba's praises. Both the men were engrossed in the stories and leelas of Sai. Suddenly, Kaka Sahib put his head on Hemant Pant's shoulder and breathed his last. He passed away calmly in an instant, as quickly as the speed of an airplane, just as Baba had said years ago. The day was an auspicious one. It was an Ekadashi day in the year 1926 that Kaka Sahib Dikshit merged with Baba. His last moments were spent in singing Baba's glory. His mind and heart were absorbed in Baba, and he left his body and merged with our Sai in this divine state. Peace be to all. Baba bless us with devotion, love, humility, and your loving grace. May you never forget us till eternity and beyond. Jai Sai.